Greetings, it's Iain from R.T.O here. Welcome to another live album ranking. So it's Friday, we've got through till Friday again, and it's the 1st of September as well. So we're going to crack on with some Hawkwind today. Now, I'm not doing their entire live discography because there's loads. So I'm just doing the ones that I've got. And I've got 10. So Hawkwind, space rock, formed in 1969. A few people go through that band. Lemmy, Ginger Baker, Robert Calvert, Nick Turner, Hugh Lloyd Langton. But the one that's really known, and he's still with them today, and that is a man that's in his 80s now and still rocking, and that's Mr. Dave Brock. It just amazes me that this I think he's 84, can still play a mean guitar. I mean, I love their latest album, so which is pretty good. So I've got 10 albums. I'm one of these people that prefer Hawkwind live to the studio. I've got more live albums by Hawkwind than studio, which is one of the bands that I have got more by. So let's have a look at my 10 albums that I have actually got. So coming in at number 10, we got an album. Now it's one of these sort of live with a couple of studio tracks on it, and it's called Palace Springs. And it was recorded during their North America tour of 1989, and the venue was the Palace Theatre in Los Angeles. Now the people are playing on here, we've got Bridget Wishart on vocals, Dave Brock of course on the electric guitars, we've got Harvey Bainbridge on keyboards, Alan Davey on the bass, Simon Howells on violin, and Richard Chadwick on drums. So the first two tracks are the studio ones, and we've got a thing called Back in the Box. It's just one of them typical Hawkwind 90s tracks. Yeah, it's quite good. It's got a thing. Then we get Treadmill. I think this is awesome. Very 60s. Some great guitar work from Dave. You know, incredible stuff, and it's a really good track. Then we get into the live stuff. This is where it gets confusing. They twist and turn and do stuff that's not on albums, and you can't find out where they come from. So the first one is a Salt and Battery, and it's listed as Lies of a Great Man from the Warrior of Edge of Time album. Pretty cool track on there. The Golden Void, which is listed as the Golden Light, again from the Warrior of Edge of Time, which is a great track. Then we got Tommy Left This World Today from Dorami Falso Latido, one of Lemmy's albums. That's a great track, that is. Then we get Heads, which is from the Xenon Codex, which sounds far better live than on the studio. I love it live. Then we have Acid Test from Choose Your Marks. Very good live, much better again. Then we have Domination Alley from Quark, Strangers and Charms. It's a very short live album, well, in track size, but the tracks are quite, you know, average tracks about 6-7 minutes. It's a really good album. As I said, I prefer them live, so I'm going to give this one an R.T.O ranking of 7.5. So coming in at number 9, this is from 1986, and it's live Chronicles, and it was recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon. So the band on this one are Dave Brock on the guitars, Hugh Lloyd Langton on guitars, Harvey Bainbridge on keyboards, Alan Davey on the bass, Danny Thompson Jr. on drums. We got Michael Moorcock on vocals, Tony Carrera on Mime and Dance, and Chris Tate on Mime and Dance. Don't sing, but they stand there and dance on stage. So it opens up with the Chronicle and the Chronicles of the Black Sword, which is sort of a poem thing written by Michael Moorcock. Then we have another track from the Chronicle of the Black Sword, the Song of the Swords, pretty cool. Then we have a track called Dragons and Fables, which is on the EP Night of Hawks. Pretty good track. This is the only copy of this song that I've got because I haven't got the EP. It's pretty good. And then we have some narration. It wouldn't be a Hawkwind concert without some narration. Then we go back to the Chronicle of the Black Sword again, the Sea King, and then we have another poem from Mr. Moorcock, Dead God's Homecoming. Then we get a sonic attack for Angels of Death. Pretty cool track on here. And the Shade Gate from Chronicles, again, really good. Back to the sonic attack for Rocky Paths. And we have some more narration. Lots of narration. And then we have Masters of the Universe from In Search of Space, which is a pretty cool track, which I like in the studio version, but I do love the live version. It's got so much atmosphere. Dreaming City is another track that is from one of Hugh Lloyd Langton's solo albums. Then we have the title track from Choose Your Mouse, which is pretty good. Then Flight Sequence, which is just all these weird and wonderful noises. Don't know where it comes from, but there we go. Assault and Battery seems to be a firm favourite with them from Warrior of Edge of Time. Sleep of a Thousand Tears, which is brilliant on here. Then Zarazina from the Chronicle of the Black Sword, pretty good. Lord of Chaos, lots of chaos and noise. The Dark Law, some instrumental stuff, some great little bits from Dave Brock. Then the Wizards of Pang Tang again. It just all this weird and wonderful stuff. And then we get a track called Moonglum. Now I don't know where it's the only place I've got this. If anyone knows where it originally was on, please let me know because it's bugging me. It's quite a good track. It's very spicy and psychedelic and woo, all over the place. Elric the Enchanter from the Chronicle of the Black Sword. That's pretty cool as well. Needlegun, another track from the Black Sword album. Then we have the Conjuration of Mangu and Mangu from Warrior of Edge of Time. All great. And then we have a track from Levitation, Dust of Time, which is great live. I mean, it's a good track anyway, but it's really even better. Then we have The Final Flight, which is Mr. Moorcock rambling on. Horn of Fate from Choose Your Mask. Great way to end this. This is a really good album. I mean, it's a lot of the Chronicle of the Black Sword, which is a good album, but I think this is a far better live. The tracks got more atmosphere and they sound far better live, and you can hear them singing, which is a bonus. So I really enjoy this live album. So I'll give this one an R.T.O ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, at number 8, we have got from 2017, At the Roundhouse, which is in London, of course. And on here we've got Mr. Dibbs on vocals and electronics, Dave Brock on the vocals, guitars, Magnus Martin on keyboards, Has Wheaton on bass, Richard Chadwick as ever on the drums, Mikhail Sonisher on saxophone, and we've got a guest appearance on brain box and silver matroon by the one and only Mr. Phil Campbell on guitar. So it's a 2-disc thing, and the first track is from Ascent, which is from one of the later albums, Into the Woods. Much better live. I just think it's great. Then we get a great version of We Took the Wrong Step years ago from In Search of Space. Absolutely killer. Then we get The Watcher from Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Another great track. Then Born to Go, which was a B-side of Lord of Light. I do know that. First Landing, really hoopy. Then we get a track from my favourite album, Hall of the Mountain Grill. You better believe it. Great that is. Then we have this little thing called Earthbound, which is really psychedelic and freaky. Then you seen them from Into the Woods. Pretty good. Lots of atmosphere on that. Vegan Lunch as well. Really good. Now, next track is Steppenwolf, which is off the Sounding Sounds and Amazing Music. Now, this album has gone up in my estimation. and I think it's to do with listening to this track live. And I thought, wow, it is good. So I put the studio album on again, and that's why I moved it up in my tier ranking. It's just a great track now. I really love that one. Darklands from Into the Woods, pretty good. Mango from the Warrior album, along with Golden Void and this Synchronized Blue. Deep Cavern from Into the Woods. This was the album that was out at the time. And Into the Woods itself. Then we have The Machine from The Machine Stops, which I didn't like on the studio album, but I do like that. Then we have Welcome. Then we have Brainbox with Phil Campbell on the guitar, and the album ends with a rendition of Silver Machine. Sterling album. So I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 8.4. Okay, coming in December, this is the one that came out last year, and it's we are looking in on you, which is from the Somnia tour of 2021. So the band for this one is Dave Brock, of course, Richard Chadwick, still beating the Skins, Doug McKinnon on the bass, Tim Lewis on theremin and synths, axe. Athene Roberts plays the violin, and Magnus Martin does the keyboards. Now this opens up with a really brilliant version of Magnu from Warrior. Absolutely killer track. Then we have some tracks off Somnia, and I love the album Somnia. Cave of the Phantom Dreams, brilliant track, brilliant live. And then Insomnia, which is an amazing track all round, but the live version is, to me, the definitive. Then we have a little ditty from PXR5. Yes. Uncle Sam's on Mars. Brilliant. And what they did, they played a track that was going to be on their latest album now. So they started playing this before the album came out. And it's USB 1 from The Future Never Waves, which is a killer track. Anyway, but it's really good live. You know, that's what I like about Hawkwind. You get some oddments. And that at the time was Spirit of Age from Quark and Strangers and Charms. Fantastic little track. It's Only a Dream from Somnia. Then we have this little ditty called Peace. And then from Electric TP, another good album, Right to Decide. Really good. Then we have Levitation itself from the album's Levitation. Brainstorm again from Dory M. Neutrons. Don't know where that's from, but it's pretty good. In the Beginning, and then we have from the debut album Hurry on Sundown, really good version. Then we get Born to Go, Star Explorer, Space's Dip, It's Not Unusual, and The Watcher, a really good album. You know, this is Dave Brock in his autumn years, and he's still playing killer guitar. It's a fantastic album. It sounds great. I've seen clips of this, people, you know, on YouTube, and the stage show looks fantastic. I've never seen Hawkwind, but I would love to see them. It doesn't matter what for me, it's just for the stage show on its own. So I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 8.5. Okay, then coming at number 6. This is from 1996, and it's called Love in Space, and it was recorded in various places on the 1995 tour to promote Alien 4 album. So the vocals are Ron Tree, Dave Brock on guitars and vocals, Alan Davey, Mr. Richard Chadwick, Liam Yates and Michelle Gaskell were dancing, and Chris Tate and Wango Riley were fire eaters. That would have been some show. So the first 2 tracks come off, first 3 tracks sort of come off, the first 2 tracks come off Alien 4. We've got Abducted and Death Trap, pretty cool. Wastelands from Xenon Codex. Then back to the Alien Are You Losing My Mind, which is even better live than it is in the studio. Then the Photo Encounter, which is some ramblings. Blue Skin from Alien 4, pretty good. Sputnik Stan. Now, that live is far better than the studio. Then we have one of my favourite tracks off the PXR5 album, Robot. Alien I Am from Alien 4, of course, brilliant. Zemmermore from Alien 4 and Venga. Then we get Love in Space, Distant Horizons. Yes. Before it's out, again, they're doing tracks off their next album. Which is a bit unusual, isn't it? But there you go. Kapow from Alien 4. And a little thing called Elfin. Silver Machine. And then Welcome to the Future. As I said, well, consider this is recorded from all over the place. It's really well put together. You feel like that it's been recorded in the same place. And the Alien 4 is not what I call one of my favourite albums, but the live stuff is far better. Again, so I'm going to give this one an R.T.O ranking of 8.6. Coming in at number 5 then, this was released in 2015 and it was recorded in 2014 at Shepherd Bush Empire, and it's called Space Ritual Live. So it's Mr. Dibbs on bass guitar, Richard Chadwick, Dead Fred on vocal, violins and keyboards, Tim Blake on the keyboards, Niall Hone on the bass and guitar, Dave Brock on guitars, John Etheridge on drums, and Brian Blessed on vocals. He does appear on here. Now this one opens up from a track from Onward called Seasons. Really good live. Again, you know, they're much better. Steppenwolf, brilliant. Utopia from Choose Your Masks. Then we go back to the Warrior of Edge of Time for a bit of Opeloka, which is pretty good. Spiral Galaxy, another great track from the Warrior album. Reefer Madness from Astounding Sounds and Amazing Music. Again, not very keen on the studio version, but the live version really brings it to life. Then we have Sentinel, which is from the Blood of Earth album. Pretty good. Spirit of Age, really good. Earth Calling, one of this weird and wonderful stuff before it goes into Born to Go. Down Through the Night comes next. Then we have First Poem First Landing from Space Brock. Lord of a Light, which was a single. Poem Black Corridor, all this in Space is Deep, all this really hoopy stuff. It goes into this sort of madness of a step into space, all gone upside down, 10th second of forever. It's all weird and wonderful. Then we do Brainstorm, pretty good. 7 by 7, which is a single that's never on an album. Sonic Attack from Sonic Time We Left, Masters of the Universe, and Welcome to the Future. Another album from the music from all over the career. Solid stuff again. Really enjoy that one, and I'll give that one an R.T.O ranking of 8.8. Okay, now we're going back in time now. These are the first sort of little Hawkwind albums that I acquired. So number 4 was released in 1980 and it's called Live 79. It was recorded in the winter tour of the UK of 1975, and it's one of the albums I got in the top 10. This is a reconstructed Hawkwind with Brock, Brainbridge, King emerging from the dissolved Hawklords. So it was a bit all over the place. Now there's a track on here called Shot in the Night. It's been written by Hawklords keyboardist Steve Swindles. So you got bits and bobs in this, and this was done at the St Albans City Hall. St Albans is in Hertfordshire. So it's Dave Brock, Hugh Lloyd Langland, Harvey Bainbridge, Tim Blake and Simon King. So the first track is this Shut Down in the Night. Really good track. Great guitar work from Dave Brock on that. Then we have Motorway City from Levitation. What a great version of that it is. Spirit of Age from Quark. Bit of Brainstorm from Dory M for Soul again. Lighthouse. Doesn't appear on the only place you'll find this is on live albums. It's written by Tim Blake. Really good track. Got some nice hoopy sounds in it and that space rock riff you get. Then we get Mastering of the Universe from In Search of Space. Always like that. Then you get the Silver Machine Requiem that goes into a song called Urban Gorilla, which was another single. Pretty good track that is. It's got a post-punk feel to it. It's got an absolutely great bass line on it. And then they do a edited version of Shot Down in the Night. It may be a single album, but we got some lengthy tracks on here. It's a really good album, lots of atmosphere on this, so I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 9 out of 10. Coming in at number 3 is an album called Nights of Space, and it was recorded on the annual Christmas gig at the Astoria Theatre in London, 19th of December 2009, and this came out in August 2008. We've got Dave Brock, Tim Blake, Jason Stewart is on keyboards, Mr. Dibbs on the bass, Mr. Chadwick on the drums. So it all starts off with all this sort of little ditties that don't appear anywhere. We have the Black Corridor, Aerospace of Inferno, Space Love, The Awakening, and Orgon Accumulator. Then we go to the Hall of the Mountain Grill for Paradox, Great Live, Robot from PXR5 again. Then we have some tracks from Alien 4. We get 3 on the knock. Abducted, Alien I Am, and the Alien Poem. Pretty good. Lots of atmosphere on here. Then we have Master of the Universe from the brilliant In Search of Space. Time We Left, Lighthouse, Arrival into Utopia from Duty Mars. Brilliant track. Damnation Alley, and then the Sonic Attack, Welcome to the Future. And then we have a track from 25 Years On, and I love this track, and it's even better live, and that is Flying Doctor. Absolutely brilliant live. And we end the proceedings, of course, with Silver Machine. Really good. The sound's great on here. This is back in the 80s, late 70s. Absolutely brilliant album. I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of a 9.2. So, number 2. I recently acquired this, and it's the 50 Live album. And it's celebrating 50 years, of course, of the mighty Hawkwind, and this was recorded at the Albert Hall in 2019. So the band on this one is Niall Hone on the bass, Richard Chadwick drums, Tim Blake, theremin, and other. Magnus Martin on vocals and guitars and keyboards, Mr. Dave Brock, of course. And we get Phil Campbell on here again. So this one opens up from Levitation, Motorway City. Good track to open a gig with, I think. Then at the time it was All Aboard the Skylark was the latest album. So we've got a couple of tracks from that. We've got Flesh Fondue, pretty good. Much better live again than studio. Last Man on Earth, a great track. Really good live. Space is Dark from Dorian Fasalto, pretty good. Then a lengthy version of Born to Go with some great guitar work on it. Back to the Skylark album for 65 million years ago, pretty cool. In the Beginning, Spirit of Age from Quark. Then the Fantasy of Phil Downham, which is a brilliant track off the Skylark album, and it's even better live. Then we have The Watcher from Dorian Facedo, which has got Mr. Campbell on it. A lovely version of Silver Machine again. Assault and Battery, Golden Void, The Right to Decide, Clade. Then we go back to the debut album for a bit of Hurry on Sundown. Bit of Master in the Universe and Welcome to the Future. I just love this. Okay, it's not the original band, but the legacy of this, the band and the music, still strong while Dave Brock's there. I don't know what will happen when poor old Dave does finally leave us, but while he's in the band, the music's still good, and I love this album. All these old songs being brought to life again, so I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 9.3. So we got to the number 1 album, and I think this was the first one I ever brought live. It's only about the third Hawkwind album I ever brought, and it was recorded in 1972 in 2 places. One at the Liverpool Stadium, and Brixton Sundown in London, and it's the Space Ritual Alive album from 1973. This was recorded in the day of the classic lineup of the band. So the lineup of the band at the time was Dave Brock on guitars, Nick Turner on saxophone, flutes and vocals, Lemmy on the bass guitar and vocals, Dick Mick doing audio generator electronics, Det Tamar on synthesizers, and Simon King on drums. And Stacia the dancer, you remember her on the videos? Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So the tracks on here, we've got Earth Calling, Born to Go, Down Through the Night, The Awakening, Lord of Light, Black Corridor, Space is Deep. Oh, these are just classics played from that time. Electronic Number 1, Orgon Accumulator, Upside Down, 10 Seconds Forever, Brainstorm, 7x7, Sonic Attack, Tommy Left the World Today, Master of the Universe, Welcome to the Future. It's just Brainstorm. Yes, we've mentioned that. What an album. Hawkwind in the peak of their fame, really. Lemmy's on this, you know, this is the great lineup. I love this album. And for recorded in 1972, it's pretty awesome. I would have loved to have seen them at this stage of their career. Absolutely killer album this is. The definitive versions of all these great songs from the early years. So I'm going to give this one an R.T.O ranking of 9.5. So there we go, a little bit of Hawkwind. I'm sure if I see anything else, especially some of these bootleg albums of the early years, that's what I really want. I want some of this stuff recorded in the 70s. So up next, we've got 2 new albums today. We've got Mr. Alice Cooper and Road, and then we've got Udo and Touchdown. So we'll be reviewing them. So we'll see you for that later. Bye for now.